We'll call the meeting to order. This is the Perry County Athletic Beverage Board, May 27th, 2026. Do we have any remonstrance present? Anyone seeking renewal after a violation or any newer transfer permittees, if you would please raise your right hand. Do each of you swear or affirm under the penalties of perjury that the answers given on your application and any answers to any question is asked by the board to be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Items on the agenda today for automatic renewal are Lock and Keel LLC, RR 62-39441, Till City Lodge 1424, Moose, RC 62-04057, Winchell Vogel Post 2939, VFW, RC 62-07223. Those three listed are without a violation or remonstrance. I make a motion we approve automatic renewals.
Second that.
Motion made and seconded for automatic renewals. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 3-0. None opposed. Who are you guys with?
VFW.
Okay. You don't have to be here anymore. You were just approved. I heard you guys say we don't have to be here, but who are you with? Okay. You can stay. You can stay if you like, or you're free to leave.
You're free to go.
Items on the agenda for consideration. Permits with a violation or Hoosier Heights Country Club Incorporated, RR 62-20361. We have a representative for
Yes.
Hoosier Heights. All right, if you would please state your name.
Greg Frizzell.
All right, you were issued a notice of violation, or actually two notices of violation. The first of which being on June 18th of 2025. That appears to be for scope of your beer retailer permit and service of setup. So if you would please explain that violation to us.
Repeat that again.
Scope of your beer permit and service of setups.
Oh, the license that we had to have for the people circuit. We didn't have our bartender's license. They had completed their training. Is what it was. So the ones that were bartending didn't have their certificate. So if they got their certificate, they all had their certificate then.
And this is actually for alcohol that you purchased from a non-wholesaler.
We had a lady that bought some liquor, yes. So she's no longer with us.
Could you speak up just a little bit?
We had a lady that was with us that didn't know any better. She was one of the workers. She went down and bought, we ran short on liquor that day. So she went down to, I think it was TNR, and bought the liquor.
Who's the employee?
It was Alicia.
What's your position with this organization?
I am the VP,
You're the vice president. What's your name again?
Greg Frizzell.
Okay. You don't know your employee's name that you fired?
Sorry, it was Amber.
And what was her position?
Just a bartender.
Okay. Who would oversee your bartenders?
We are now. We didn't have a manager back then. I just took this over within the last year, so I'm really not sure what exactly was.
Okay. So when did you take over exactly?
Hey, last year. Been almost a year.
So you were in charge May of 2025?
No, but in charge of the bar.
You were in your position as vice president of this
Yes.
golf course
Yes.
in May. Okay. So this happened in June.
Yes.
Okay. So
The guy that took care of this was Dennis Litherland.
That's who?
Dennis Litherland. He's the president.
okay, so who was in charge at that time of overseeing the
He was.
employees?
He was
Okay. Who was in charge of making alcohol purchases?
Amber.
So the employee in charge of making alcohol purchases was just your bartender? She was not a manager.
We didn't have a manager back then. They all just worked. We were in a transition. We were in bad shape.
So the president is Dennis Litherland,
Yes.
who is listed in this report, and employee Amber Wilbur.
Amber Wilbur. There.
Okay. And then Ashley Ivory. who is
Yes,
this?
Ivory is the manager now.
Okay. She was listed as the manager then.
She could have been. She is now. She's over. She's over all of it now.
Okay, so you have a president, a vice president, and a manager, but you entrusted your alcohol purchases to a bartender.
But hang on. So Amber was the girl that worked for her. She's the one, I believe she's the one who bought the alcohol at the liquor store. Alicia is the manager. She's the one that does most of the ordering. She does all the ordering now for the liquor.
Okay, so what would compel an employee to go and purchase 12 cases of Miller Lite beer for a golf tournament that was pre-scheduled?
I think anybody bought 12 cases of beer. I thought it was just a case or two. That's what I understood.
Well, on this particular date, 6/18, the officer who has written this report states, I returned to the premise and met with manager Ashley Ivory and President Litherland. Manager Ivory said that they had a golf tournament this past Saturday on June the 14th and they ran out of beer. Manager Ivory said she went to TNR Liquor in Tell City and purchased 12 cases of Miller Lite beer. She said no other alcohol was purchased from the liquor stores besides 12 cases of Miller Lite beer. And this beer was no longer in the premise, I guess obviously because it was sold and consumed.
Yes.
Did you take time to familiarize yourself with these incidents? Why did you come unprepared today?
I was just told to come here and see if there was anything we needed to do. I didn't know there was gonna be all these questions. I'm sorry.
Where's Dennis? Did he not know about this?
He did know about it. He just asked me if I'd go. I said, sure.
So you're not prepared to answer questions about the particulars of this violation today is what I'm hearing.
No, I just thought we were gonna say that we got rid of the lady. That was the problem. We had disgruntled employee. So we had problems there.
I don't think that this sounds much like a disgruntled employee as your manager buying.
We knew that we went and bought beer because she didn't know it. So we trained her not to go buy liquor except from our vendors. So that's what I understood this to be. So we're no longer buying from anybody but our vendors. We're not going out from the club buying anything else. And we were supposedly not trained behind the bars, the two things I was told.
So those were the answers that you were told to give by a person who would not come today and give testimony.
So if you had a golf tournament scheduled, wouldn't you think, you per se, think that you would know to order enough beer?
Yes. Yes. Yep. Like I said, we were in a transition and I know that was the problem. And we were in a transition. She didn't know what to order. They didn't have a clue at any of that. It was a normal thing for us. The rest of us knew the tournament, we should have plenty of beer. Nobody checked, get any of that background check to see if we had plenty of this and that. And she took it upon herself to go down and get it. I didn't think nothing about it. I didn't know. I personally didn't know that was a problem until we got wrote up for it. Then I did understand it was a problem.
Okay. So the second incident, I mean, the first one happens on June the 18th. The second one happens about 2 weeks later on July the 2nd, 2025. You familiar with that violation at all?
They were told that we had other liquor there. We had a couple of bottles of something from, wasn't from our distributor.
I would leave it up to the board at this point. I mean, we can ask him questions about things that he's not well versed in, or we can continue with 30 days
I think
and
they do
wait
it 30
for
days.
someone that's knowledgeable to come back in.
I
It doesn't
agree.
sound like it's any fault of his.
I
It
agree.
looks like you drew the short stick on this particular
did.
incident.
All I can tell you now is that we're doing the right thing. We're following the law now. We're making sure we have plenty of beer on hand. Our people are trained. They have the certificates they need. We've gotten rid of all the people that we had that were poison for us. We had a lot of bad things going. Now we have a lot of good things going. So that's, I was hoping this was going to be really smooth. I would come in and give you the right answers to the phone. But that's not the case. I'm sorry.
Was this the same person, the second offense that bought the liquor?
I think there was two things.
Or was she let go after you got caught the first time?
That one was already fired.
The second time she
But the
wasn't there.
second time,
So who was the second?
We didn't get We didn't do anything the second, we didn't buy anything anywhere else the second.
Brad, you want to tell him that he did?
Yeah, I mean, that's just not consistent with the reports. I mean, that's why you were issued a second notice of violation 2 weeks later, is because the complaint was called in specifically for this type of procedure, that you guys had purchased alcohol from a liquor store in Kentucky. The officers came to do an inspection and in fact found evidence in alcohol that you had bought from Kentucky and were serving inside the premise.
You do think it was true?
I don't think it was true. No, because the disgruntled employee is the one that made a lot of these things happen. Fired her, she was upset. We knew that. So I think, but the way I understood it is that you guys came in and found some liquor that wasn't on, we didn't have a receipt for it. This other person had sent in a receipt, from what I see, from a place in Kentucky that had nothing to do with us. But that's what she was doing. She was trying to push this in there to say this is where it come from.
Yeah, well, the investigating officer, I mean, took some steps and called your distributors and asked specifically about the alcohol that was found, and they have no record of you having ever bought that from there. So the receipts that were found and the alcohol that was in the premise are, yeah, they're from a non-wholesaler. They're from a liquor store in Kentucky. So a 750 milliliter bottle of Penelope straight bourbon whiskey wheated, 750 milliliter bottle of Kentucky silk whiskey, and a 750 milliliter bottle of Drambuie liquor, which Johnson's and Southern Glazer, neither one had any listing of ever selling that product to before. So that's consistent with retail to retail in violation of the scope of permit. The concerning part is that it was roughly about 2 weeks after the first incident.
Yeah, I cannot imagine that happening. I think that's true. I think something happened. I think something happened prior to that, and then that's when it got recorded, maybe. I don't know.
Okay. Well,
That's what.
again, I can hold no animus toward you because you were told to come here with no information or no knowledge. But the one person who is listed twice as being present and having been spoken to is Dennis Litherland.
Okay.
So why don't we have him come back?
Okay.
On June 24th.
Okay.
Sound fair?
Sure.
Okay.
Sorry, I didn't know, and I didn't have the right answers.
Okay.
Just tell me what.
Okay. So we'll do it that way. We'll continue 30 days to June 24th if Mr. Litherland can make himself available.
Okay.
Answer questions. Appreciate it.
Yep.
All right. Last remaining item on the agenda is Sri Amaya Nav HK Shikti. There we go. I was going to say that, but I'm like, I don't know if I want to commit to it or not. LLC DL 62-33717. Next. This is a transfer pending wherever you're comfortable, transfer of the liquor store, in Troy, Indiana. So, why don't you go ahead and tell us your name? What's your last name? All right.
Bhai Patel is one of the owners for Sri Muya.
All right. So, tell us about, what your plans are for this business, and then, a little bit about your background and some of the things that you're doing in businesses that you own.
So we spoke before and kind of get a rundown. His English is understands everything that it is not 100% there, but so they're currently renovating the space there on Sycamore Street. Planning to open in about 2 months.
Okay.
This is the first Indiana location for them. So the first time, but we've kind of gone through the rules, regulations, employee permitting, ID requirements, checking IDs, ordering alcohol, that kind of thing. So understands, keeping the employee records and everything like that. They're planning to only have 2 employees for this location. It's a pretty small store if you're familiar with the space. And so, planning to keep those 2 employees. The employees that they're bringing in are actually coming down or coming from another location. They hired them off of another store, and he's been working there for about 15 years. So the employees that they're bringing on have very strong experience with alcohol service in Indiana as well. So,
Okay.
But happy to answer any other policy questions.
There's one other permit that's listed on here with ownership, it's 33704.
Yeah, there's a grocery store permit, I believe.
Okay,
Yes.
so-
thank you for reminding- Sorry, I didn't.
I think we've seen, so Bargabi Bagat,
Yes,
okay, I think we've seen him before, right? He owns several businesses in the
Yeah.
Louisville area.
yes,
Okay.
correct.
You've had your sign posted 10 days in advance. I've got your affidavit for it. I mean, I really don't have any other questions outside of this. This permit's been
No.
in hand for a minute, but they're putting it into a building finally.
But yeah, finally getting it moving.
I guess, what's the state of the building right now? I'm gonna say you're gonna open in 2 months. I mean, is it inspectable now, or are you still doing quite a lot of construction work to it?
A lot of construction inside, but that's when everybody start this month end,
Okay,
after ready. After start here 2 months.
yeah, I don't have any
So yeah, we'll
questions.
reach out for final inspection, obviously, when they're closer to, and,
Sure.
so you're not walking through anything dusty, crazy.
Okay, that's fine. If there's no questions, comments, or concerns, I'll make a motion to approve.
Second,
All right, motion is made to approve and seconded. All in favor of that motion?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 3-0, none opposed, and we'll set it for 6-2.
Thank you very much.
Okay. Unless the Legion contingent has any questions,
VFW,
VFW,
yeah,
is that offensive when you get mixed up
Yeah.
between VFW and the Legion?
yeah, it's different, totally. Yeah, you know. We, 4th of July, they're having a parade, I understand, in Tell City, and we'd like to do a beer garden in our parking area. What kind of permit do we have, and could we extend our footprint and be able to
Yeah, let's,
haul out there when they grill outside?
we'll bring you up here and have a look at it, but we'll call this meeting adjourned and then we'll look at that issue and get your floor plan looked at.